All right, folks, so this is Edbigghead here once again with azsnakebit.com, also facebook.com/the AZ Brute Squad, and I am on the Brute Squad, and we are here this evening with Angry Dad. We're going to ask him some Angry Dad questions, 5 to be exact. So number 1, Angry Dad, tell me your angry thoughts about the shift.
Oh, boy, here we go on the shift. First of all, I think it shouldn't be used at all. I think it's a worthless piece of strategy, baseball strategy. Obviously, it's not something that's been done in back. It's not an old school move. I think it's just overdone, and I feel like it's not something that should be implemented, and especially probably 75% of the shift moves that they make around the league. I feel like everyone should just play straight up their position, maybe over a little bit here, there, and there, but no big shifts for certain batters, lefties especially. And
how angry do you get when you see the shift not work? When they hit into the gap, they hit into the hole, or they hit into that position where somebody should have been standing there?
Well, I think I look at it and I go, obviously it's easy to say, well, you know, that's why they shouldn't have done it. I look at it as if they do hit it into the hole where there's someone who was supposed to be positioned. Good for that batter. That shows good bat discipline and aware, and try to put that ball where they aren't.
So the shift is a negative for you.
Shifts is a definite negative for me.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. How angry does it make you when you see a pitcher want a new ball for any little reason?
That's another thing that I don't understand. Because if you notice, they'll get a new ball for just dropping into the dirt. It's an automatic thing.
Right.
I think it's ridiculous.
Or foul tip into the glove.
Foul tip, whatever. I think it's ridiculous.
Or even the catcher will throw them a new ball. They'll look at it, kind of shake it around their palms, and then throw it back.
Yeah. It's to me, that's another. I don't know who started that, but I think that's another silly tradition now that's in baseball. You look at a pitcher who's just, let's say, got a brand new ball, worked it, rubbed it up, got it to his liking, made a few pitches to the batter. The batter hits a hard grounder, maybe into the dirt. Let's say the guy fielded it, threw him out, whatever. But it landed hard into the dirt, got back to the pitcher. Do they throw it back out of bounds? Do they say, I want a new ball? No. It's scuffed up. There's no difference, and it's going to get scuffed up more hitting the infield dirt than it would be landing in front of the plate after he delivers it.
So it could be more of a superstition then for the pitcher.
I don't know who started, but it seems like everybody's on board with that.
But either way, it infuriates you.
It does, because as a pitcher, as I grew up pitching all those years through all the leagues, I enjoyed when the ball was scuffed up a little bit, because I was able to work that ball and get it to spin and do some things legally without having to doctor the ball up.
Okay, so that's your angry thoughts on that. Next question. How angry are you about the Osmani Tomas deal?
Oh.
Tell us your feelings.
Well, I feel even from the very beginning that they just went way too overboard on that one. I know the guys had some talent, and there was something there that they saw. I get that. But I feel like they felt like they had to have, and I'm not trying to be racist, but they felt like they had to have a profile, have a Cuban player,
right,
like everyone else was getting,
like Puig and
some of the other
guys in the league
who have been very successful,
right.
And I feel like the Diamondbacks organization jumped the gun and just like panicked and said, okay, this is good enough. Let's throw tons of money at it.
Was that a Tony La Russa deal, or
I think it was a Tony. I think it was a Tony La Russa deal.
Yeah.
I think it was that finally got him here. Either way, I didn't mind him being here, but that kind of money, and now look at it where things haven't quite worked out, and now the team is saddled with trying to either get rid of him or whatever. But that's hurting their future to go after other players.
Okay, next question. What unwritten rule makes you the most angry? Angry baseball dad.
Unwritten rule?
Yep. What's one that you just see when you're watching the game, whether you're live or whether you're watching on TV? Maybe you're listening on the radio and you're like, oh, they beamed him because he took too long to get to first base after a home run,
Yeah.
or he crossed the mound after he was thrown out at first.
There are several unwritten rules in baseball which I don't agree with. There's been some in play this year. A couple of them where a team is behind 7-8 runs, haven't scored anything, and late innings, and a guy gets on base, and they're trying to steal. A pitchers and teams get mad at that because it's like, why are they bothering?
Right.
Or somebody lays down a bunt to get a base hit to get something going. I look at it and
During a no-hitter.
Right, or it's a one, whatever. You're up there to produce hits one way or the other, no matter what. You're taught from a young age to get the rally started. If you can, do the best you can to get on base. And if that calls for getting a bunt, catching the team off balance, so be it.
Right, or bunting into the hole in the shift when they're not expecting a bunt.
Yes, you've got to get on base and get something started.
And the pitcher gets upset, the catcher's upset, the whole team's upset that you're trying to put a dent in their major lead.
Right.
And that's an unwritten rule.
Right. And I look at it as if you're going to prevent against in the late innings, especially the late innings, do not play the shift. Put your team in a shift position when you know there's a possibility someone could lay a bunt down to get something going. That's your own fault.
Right.
Play normal positions. Play up if you need to try to cut off whatever they're going to try.
Don't just assume that it's the 8th inning and it's a no-hitter and the other team's going to stop competing.
The other team's just going to roll over.
Okay, last question here. What former Major League Baseball player angered you the most? Former Major League Baseball player.
Former Major League Baseball player.
One that you were watching as a kid or as a young adult or even in this point of your life and you watch, he's since retired or whatever, but just pissed you off every time you saw that guy. Didn't like his attitude, didn't like his hair, didn't like his hat, whatever it was.
Wow, that's a tough one. As a kid, I didn't really have anybody that I didn't like. I admired all the ball players for who they were and what they did and what they accomplished. That being said, today's ball players.
Okay, current ball player.
Today's ball players, I get a little bit put off by some of the attitudes.
Yeah. Diva-like attitudes.
Diva-like attitudes.
Pop star.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson, I think, was one of them when he was with the Giants and the Dodgers with his. I'm going to go to the ESPY Awards type of guy.
That kind of thing. Well, you know what? In all fairness, he performed and he did. I look at the ones that I don't really care for are the ones that are whiners.
Okay.
Okay. They're all this, which they are. They're talented and they're here in the major leagues for a reason, but they have something go against them, and then they start whining. And their world comes to an end.
Instead of taking responsibility.
That's right. That's right. And then their off-field actions, to me, is a distraction. I mean, everyone's got their own lives and they can do whatever, but you know what? It seems like certain players get away with a lot of stuff. And if I can see it, and their teammates have made mention of it, then how bad is it really?
So then, to champion that question there, what player currently makes you the most angry? So we can wrap this up here.
I would have to say, oh boy.
The one you despise the most. You see their picture, you hear about them.
Well, I'd have to go with probably Puig. On top of my head, yeah. I admire his talent. He's a tremendous talent. I respect that. But on the other hand, he's too much of a crybaby.
Right.
He whines and gripes, and to me, he's too much of a drama queen.
Do you like it when he licks his bat?
See all that kind of stuff, and the stuff that he did during the postseason last year, all those making his faces and all that, and have fun. But then it became that they expected it of him to do this, and then at that point it was like, okay, that's enough. It's stupid. Quit doing that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, things like that. To me, it's a distraction for the ball club. And it's just, and it basically can also get the other team fired up, which is,
So that was Angry Dad interview number 1. He is a part of the Brute Squad. He's a behind-the-scenes type of guy. This is my dad in real life. We go to lots of games together. You've probably seen him if you hang out with Edbigghead and the rest of the Brute Squad. This video is going to be on azsnakebit.com, facebook.com/the Squad. Look for our Instagram, look for our YouTube, and look for future interviews with Angry Dad. Thank you.